The 26-year-old Devin Booker has established himself as a top young guard in the NBA. He has seen a dramatic uptick in his fan base after leading the Suns to the top of the rankings this season. Unfortunately, with every fan base, there's a group of haters that come along with it. In this video, we're going to discuss what Booker had to say about these emerging haters. Stay tuned to find out. Starting off, Devin isn't really bothered. As a result of the Suns and Booker's recent success, the pair has now become the focus of NBA trolls and detractors. In an interview with Sam Amick of The Athletic, Booker addressed the criticism. Sam Amick asked Booker how he felt about a relatively lackluster playoff performance by the 26-year-old. He further asked him how he was coping with the backlash from heaps of people that were trolling him. In response, Booker said that he had only just started to realize the problem. After all, with his increased popularity comes an inevitable increase in his fair share of critics. He then added that there's not much he can do about it, while comparing his situation to players like LeBron James and Steph Curry, who went and are still going through this problem. He concludes that it's better to accept reality and acknowledge that different people have unique personalities and experiences. People can be divided into two camps, those who like you, and then there are those who absolutely despise you. For him, it's just a way of life that he has come to terms with, being unbothered and steadfast in his pursuit of success. Next up, how far can Devin Booker take the Suns this season? Booker may not be as good as Giannis or Curry, but this is his best season as a professional, and he's one of the top 5 players in the NBA. Book's ability to keep the team afloat in Chris Paul's absence shows his powerful influence on the court. Suns coach Monty Williams believes that Booker's the most complete player in the NBA at the moment. He further explained that Devin's game is flawless and that he's producing results in every arena, whether it's scoring in the box or while driving the lane. On top of that, he believes that he's been quite effective recently at attacking the hoop, getting to the rim, and playing in transition. He concluded by saying that Devin's exceptionally well and with purpose. It doesn't feel forced to him if people expect an exceptional performance from him day in and day out. After all, that's the bar he has set for himself. Finally, thoughts on Devin Booker. Whether you like him or not, you just can't deny Devin Booker's talent. He's the kind of all-around talent you want at the helm of your team because he is one of the league's finest scorers, playmakers, and pure shooters. Though he lost in the semifinals last spring, we're sure that he will be vengeful this time around. It seems like only a matter of time before he wins a championship and proves himself to everyone. Now, let's move on to some of the most hated players in the NBA. Many famous athletes have won the hearts of fans all across the world. Their admirers look up to them and would do anything to be in their presence. While some players are beloved by fans, there are some others who are despised to the point where people wish that their careers would end in the most humiliating way possible. Yikes! Most despised players have built their entire career on being the one person on the court that everyone hates. This could be because of their arrogance, egotism, or dirty play. Here's a list of the most hated players in the history of the NBA, so keep watching to find out. Starting off with number 4, Latrell Sprewell. As his time with the Minnesota Timberwolves came to a close, he said one of the most insane remarks in sports history. The 3-year, $21 million offer from the T-Wolves was less than what Spree was making before. That's $7 million annually for you non-math majors, by the way. In the end, Latrell said that this was not nearly enough to maintain his diet of diamonds and blocks of gold, and he told reporters as much, adding, "I got my family to feed." This was the final straw for NBA fans who had already grown tired of the senior player due to the widespread outcry about the excessive salaries of professional athletes. After that, he was never seen on an NBA court again. Also, there was that time he choked his coach. At a Golden State Warriors practice in 1997, Coach PJ Carlesimo was yelling at Sprewell to make crisper passes, and Latrell chimed in to advise Carlesimo to chill off. Okay, we'll let this one slip because it can get frustrating when someone's yelling at you. In contrast, when Carlesimo approached, Sprewell threatened to kill him and then began to choke the much smaller coach for 15 seconds. Not so surprisingly, the Warriors waived him soon after, and he was then traded to the New York Knicks for a reported $24 million. Next up at number 3, Bill Laimbeer. Before Anderson Varejão and Manu Ginóbili, there had been a player who relished the faulty art of flopping like no other. Bill Laimbeer was the first truly despised athlete. Although Laimbeer spent the first part of his career with the Cleveland Cavaliers, it is his final 14 seasons with the Detroit Pistons that have made him a legend in the NBA. He had great offensive and defensive potential as a center, but he was also notorious for grating on the nerves of every opponent and spectator in attendance. On the court, Bill earned the reputation of a thug, thanks to his habit of throwing out heavy penalties, and then flopping at the sign of any small contact, much to the benefit of every player and fan not affiliated with the Pistons. The late 1980s rivalry between the Los Angeles Lakers and Chicago Bulls brought Laimbeer's verbal and physical harassment of players not wearing blue and red to the forefront. Laimbeer could have been more recognized for his skill on the court than for his rough play, but the latter is what earns him the reputation of a thug and the moniker of original flopper in the NBA. Moving on to number 2, Vince Carter. Many people all around the country may be fans of Vince Carter because of his incredible dunks, but that's just not how it's like for some. It's true that no other athlete's more reviled in Canada than Vince Carter, but you'll have to travel to the north to learn the real reason why. Vince joined the Raptors as a rookie in 1998 and quickly became a fan favorite after earning Rookie of the Year and Slam Dunk competition titles, with jaw-dropping, never-before-seen dunks the following season. As their new superstar led the team to the playoffs multiple times, the people of Toronto fell in love with him. Carter reportedly changed his approach to games with the Raptors, throwing games and not playing to his capabilities after the team failed to reach title challenger status for so many years. Vince would remain frustrated by coach Sam Mitchell's repeated decisions to sit him on the bench for long stretches of time. In December 2004, Carter asked to be transferred and eventually got his wish when he was dealt to the New Jersey Nets. Unfortunately for Toronto, Carter kept sticking it to the Raptors fans right where it hurt by making fun of their team. Vince scored 2 game-winning baskets against his previous team, the Raptors, in front of 20,000 enraged fans who wanted his head. Gutsy move, bro. And finally at number 1, Ron Artest. Even though Ron Artest's notoriety decreased when he cooled down with the Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Lakers, the historic Malice at the Palace that he started is still remembered by almost everyone. Ron grew up in Queensbridge, New York, where he witnessed the brutal murder of a basketball player, Lloyd Newton, on the court. The assailant broke the leg off a table and stabbed Newton in the back. This may shed light on the events of November 19, 2004, perhaps, but that doesn't justify his attack on defenseless Detroit Pistons supporters. During a game against the Pistons, Ron committed a flagrant foul on 6'11" center Ben Wallace. As a response, the behemoth shoved Artest in the chest. Artest laid on the announcer's desk to calm down and wait for Wallace to cool off, but eventually the two had to be physically removed. It started out fine, but things escalated when a spectator threw a drink at the 6'7" Ron. He reacted by charging into the first row of the Palace at Auburn Hills and pummeled the wrong fan. The crowd of Pistons fans tried to break it up, but Artest's teammates eventually joined in. Amidst a cacophony of booze and pricey stadium food and drinks, 2 fans from Detroit ran onto the court and were hit by Steven Jackson and Jermaine O'Neal. Ron's 73-game punishment included the playoffs, making it the longest in NBA history. Artest has shown no signs of violence since the incident, but it doesn't change the fact that his reputation as a fighter has overshadowed his career as a lockdown defender and NBA champion. And that's a wrap for this video. Do you agree with our rankings? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.